I'm Jay Horton. I make movies that make money, and this is Filmmakers On. Today, I'm talking to indie filmmaker Jason Mills. Jason's been able to go from extremely micro-budget movies with limited distribution to an output deal with a known distributor, all while staying true to his vision and making the kind of stuff that he wants to make. His energy and enthusiasm for his films is infectious. I hope you enjoy our little talk half as much as I enjoyed doing it. Let's do the interview thing. So today I'm here with filmmaker Jason Mills. Jason, I was just going through your YouTube channel and I saw a bunch of how to make micro budget movies videos. Where did that come from? Why did you decide to do those?
Well, I've been making movies with like pretty much no budgets since grade 10, pretty much. I'm 37 now, so a good amount of time. I took one course of, just a small little in-town course of making movies and stuff. And it was awesome, but I kind of wanted more. So I decided to make a feature film like straight after that. So I made a movie called They Came from the Attic, which is actually called Above Us Lives Evil in US and Canada. They change the names and stuff, which I agree with sometimes, but sometimes it totally changes the movie.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It frustrates me a little bit, but.
Yeah, I did a video on what they call cover box casting because I used to work for a company and they would hire name actors who would come in for a day. They'd be in the movie for about 5 minutes and it would be like, name of the movie, starring, and they're in it for a second. I
find those the smaller companies that kind of rip you off companies in a way.
Yeah.
They just want the name to catch. That's it. They don't care about what your film is. They don't really care about you. You know what I mean? They just want that movie. And then they shut you up by giving you just enough just to shut you up. But I've worked myself into a bigger company, which is Vision Films. The people that work there and everything, they're helpful and they care. They care about your.
They're doing your Christmas movie, correct?
Yeah, just released on November 10th. Key to Christmas. Yeah, I just released. I made it for my kids, so I'm a horror filmmaker.
Yeah.
I had kids, so I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and that seriously changed my whole life, right? So now I'm like, how can I change my filmmaking so I don't have to keep hiding things from them? Because my office is full of horror stuff. So I'm kind of into some kids movies right now. So I've got another 3 movies that I'm going to be doing in starting March. I'm going to shoot 3 films. Key to Christmas sequel, which is doing really well, and why not? Like I don't really want to say the budget I made them for, but very low. You know what I mean? And with the Key to Christmas, I made that film during COVID. So I did the first 15 minutes or whatever before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, crap, I got to get this done by a certain time to hit Christmas. So I just had to put my mind together. And how do I do it? I had 0 crew for that movie. I did sound. I did the 5.1 mix myself.
Really?
So the budget is a low. If you watch my how to make a movie, that's kind of the budget range.
I gotcha.
But I ended up buying a $300 5.1 surround sound bar that actually works with the Mac.
Oh.
You can actually edit through Premiere. So I did the whole sound mix, everything, 5.1 through Premiere, and it passed quality control first time.
Awesome.
That is crazy. With my Beyond the Line movie, my World War II film, it failed quality control 6 times. I learned a lot since those 2 movies, but I had a company doing that one too. That's what the crazy thing was, because the Beyond the Line one had a $25,000 shooting budget,
right?
Which was my first my first movie. They Came from the Attic ended up being $30,000, which was a mistake by me, because I got these people that kept adding stuff, and then it got to I don't know what I was doing at that time. But I don't regret it, because I learned so much on my first movie. And then my next movie after that was The Changing of Ben Moore. I made for $2,000. Wow. So, and then, Bigfoot Country, I made it's free right now. I have 3 movies on my YouTube. Yeah. Only supposed to be through October, but I'm giving it another month. I'm going to end it on December 1st. But Bigfoot Country was only $800. And I made it for 3 days with a bunch of just awesome people. It was so fun. and it went really. Same with Mermaid Isle. Mermaid Isle was $500 budget. So
yeah,
these movies are like,
I just watched most of Mermaid Isle right before this. I ran out of time. Yeah, I mean that's really impressive for $500.
for
I mean,
$500, like there's a lot like I don't like about the film, but when you're doing a film like on the fly, like we don't have any stock, we don't have any crew, we don't got nothing. So I'm like, okay, this is how it's got to go. So you've got to lose something somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, there's a lot of stuff of that, like I made for a certain company, and it was just a film to, you know, pay the bills, really.
Yep.
So that's what those movies. But now I'm getting into the more kind of, I'm improving. I'm on the next level, I would say. The next level, yeah. So I'm growing as a filmmaker. So.
Yeah, man. I was going to say the especially what really took me with Mermaid Isle was like it had a nice clean look. It didn't look like a $500 movie.
Exactly.
And then but really what really separates it, because I've seen a few low budget filmmakers, they'll get a nice look, but your sound was super clean.
Like, yeah. Well, I make sure that I have usually I make sure sound guys are that's my number one thing. And my music guy, he's unreal. He's done my last 7 movies, and he's just awesome.
Dude, the opening kind of rock guitar song on that, was that him?
Or
was that a source?
That might have been his people he knows.
Okay, but he put it
he's
together.
More of he does all the violin strings.
Right.
Like Thomas Beckman, his name is. He's unreal.
That's great.
Yeah, and he's been with me since the bottom, so he's rising.
Yeah. Well, let's backtrack to that $2,000 one, the Changing of Ben Moore, right?
Changing of Ben Moore, yeah.
So how did that come about?
Okay, at that time, Paranormal Activity was out. I'm a big fan of Paranormal Activity. Like when I watched it, I wasn't, I didn't even care about it. But then when I watched it, I actually was interested, because I'm watching that movie, watching every corner of the movie to see what's moving. You know what I mean? Like that kind of feel. So I wanted to do a found footage film.
Okay.
And I had this cool idea, and we just went with it, and it was really fun to make. Really fun. Really fun. And have you seen that one?
I have not seen that one.
That's free on YouTube right now.
I'm gonna check that out. So I'm gonna jump around a lot. So with the YouTube stuff, so what is the plan there? Because I haven't seen someone put out movies like that on YouTube.
The company that bought them out, I kind of don't agree with them. And they've been very kind of unfair and lying a lot. And I just, whatever. So I'm giving them away just for the short time, just for people, because that's what they are. I call them throwaway movies. They're like, you watch them once, then they're not worth the money that they charge for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe that they are. Like Beyond the Line, Key to Christmas, totally different.
Yeah.
They're higher quality movies. But like 3 Hours Till Dead, my zombie movie, that one I really, really liked. And that was the one that pissed me off with that company, because they promised so much with it and they did nothing. They probably did the least with that one. And that I spent about $6,000 on that movie. Okay. So, I kind of, because you have to with the people that I had in it, and you just have to spend some money. But I do as much as I can myself to keep the costs low, literally everything. And that way I know if someone's going to rip me off too. Right. Because I know how it's done. So
I kind of do the same thing.
Yeah. That guy's going to charge you $16,000. Like, really?
I mean, the 5-1 mix stuff's really impressive. Like you learned it from, I'm assuming you learned it from scratch. Like you just started watching tutorials.
I just kind of got the thing, put it in, and then heard the 5.1 real time. And it's amazing just editing it with this system, because I have the Mac Pro, so it can handle all that stuff, which is awesome. But one thing I didn't like was Premiere is obviously not a sound editor, right?
No.
But I did it. Once you get past a certain 80-minute mark around there, even an hour mark, you start to get problems with your program, because you're supposed to do it in other programs. But I just wanted to do it all in one, and it worked, and it came out, and it's doing great. It's awesome.
Wow, that's inspiring. I have a lot of older library titles that distributors have been asking me to redeliver in 5.1.
It's also grown my YouTube 400 subscribers since I posted.
Oh, from doing the tutorials on the 5.1?
Not the tutorials, not really making anything, because they're not getting any traction really. But it's me posting these free movies.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, Mermaid Isle, I just looked at it. It had
25,000.
25,000, yeah. And it was a week.
a week, and then Bigfoot Country is 35,000 or something. But
That's
it's like
great.
it's like I like to give it away, but it's like I'm not trying to just like piss off the company, you know what I mean, or whatever, because I don't know what they would say. I don't really care, quite
Right.
frankly.
You just did it. You were like,
I did it.
I
There
don't
you
care.
go. It's a gift from me to my fans
Uh-huh.
to watch them, and then they will come up. Clown Motel. That's a movie I made for $1,000. That's the 42 episodes of how I did it. That's going to stay on there forever because
Right.
I brought that out just for my YouTube fans. So
Right.
you're going to see that movie nowhere else unless people steal it, but I don't give a crap. But
Right.
that's just the way it is. And that's a really fun movie to watch if you want to watch one.
Yeah,
Watch
I'm gonna check that one out. Yeah.
that one's like really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So what movie was it where you started dealing with distributors, or was that with the first one?
Well, my first one, They Came from the Attic, Above Our Sibs Evil, same movie, came out with Lionsgate UK
Mm-hmm.
and totally didn't get a penny.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever. But I was seriously, my first 10 movies, I didn't care about making money off of them. It was more about building audience. Like it's not as long as they pay for themselves, I don't care. And when you make one for $800,
It's yeah.
it's
yeah. Are you
that
gonna
in the
lose?
premiere. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's not like I'm trying to make money, like really, and a lot of the actors, because a lot of the actors are free actors and stuff, like so some of them think that you're making lots of money on them, right? But that's not the case, man. You need to understand that we're still this big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
These things sometimes make $50 a month. Sometimes they make a lot less. Sometimes they make a little more.
Because they said there's a documentary I did called Bigfoot Girl. That was a fun movie because the girl in it, the Bigfoot girl, she's just an actress for that actual part. But the actual the where we were there, because the company that wanted it was just supposed to be called Meeting Bigfoot, and it was nothing to do with the Bigfoot girl.
Okay.
But they wanted me to put a girl lead in there, and I'm just like, okay, I'll do that, but I don't agree with it because she gets a lot of like, oh, hey, Bigfoot. She's, you know what I mean? And it kind of just bugs me the way they fake it. And that took me to the end of that company. So I just kind of like, that is enough. So I was going to give them Clown Motel to bring out. But then I'm like, it's not fair because I made these videos of how I make a movie and then I don't give the movie away. So that's what I want to do. I'm just trying to do what I'm doing from the ground up. Right. And that's what's working. So.
No, I really love the fan first, like I'm doing this for people, like, that I'm not just trying to make a buck on my low budget movie.
Not about making money. Like I live in a co-op.
Yeah.
Like a little like housing kind of thing. I've got 2 kids, but I make movies and that's what I do. Like COVID obviously ended everybody's thing, but you got to keep going. But they, the company that bought up Bigfoot Girl promised that this movie was going to make triple the amount of the other movies, but it's made 0 because they're lying to me and they show me fake numbers. Oh, that's a piece of paper that you can type up. Anyone can do that.
Right.
So I'm not really like going to do anything about it. I don't care, but go watch my movies. You know what I mean? Like, so there are probably people that wouldn't watch it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, so I just, whatever.
Yeah, no, I've definitely had my share of bad experiences with some distributors. I mean, some good ones too. It sounds like you're in a good relation with Vision now.
They're just great. We got the next 3 movies planned. Like I have a comedy called Living with Bigfoot, which is hilarious, and that's coming out with Vision on March. So it's already shot, edited. I just have to do the 5.1 mix myself. So.
When it comes to making stuff yourself, making these, making some super low budget movies, what are some tricks?
Shoot and edit. If you're shooting and you're editing, you don't have to slate. You know what I mean? And that saves time. Like, like my Christmas movie, not gonna lie, I didn't slate one scene. I had no crew. No one's knowing what I'm doing anyway. So
right. Were you running sound through camera?
It was, I actually got these awesome Rode mic labs, those 200 ones or whatever. I had one. So I plugged it in and, they're actually really good as a boom if you get close enough. And filmmaking, it depends what lens you got. You can get right in there, right? Like, so it worked out and like sounds great and it's getting a lot of love. So it's my kids. So my kid's in it. It's about my kid. And there's one second.
Yeah.
This is the book that's in the movie. And this is the prop from the movie. It's actually a different book, but my wife wrote Kira the Christmas Elf, the book, and it's actually for sale on YouTube, on Amazon.
Oh, that's great.
And coloring books and stuff like that. And there's a song that the band made for the movie, and that's just released. So there's on the website, the keytochristmas.com. Everything's on there, and it's pretty amazing. Like,
that's great. And it's really smart to do the ancillary sales stuff. I just talked to Alex Ferrari earlier today for another interview, and he was going on about that, you know, like how, you know, we can't just count on the exhibition of our films anymore. You have to
totally. And the thing is, with a horror movie, it's hard to bring out a book, you know, or something like that. You know what I mean? These horror fans, it's totally different to these kids. Like, so what I've done is now I've done a kids movie. My horror fans ain't there. I have to get a new group of fans, right? Yeah. So I hired a marketer to do all my marketing for the movie, and she's doing an amazing job. Yeah. And that really helps when you're doing, like, I don't know, kids films. I feel that's where the money's at, really.
I totally agree with you. And then coming from where you're coming from, which is more of a genuine place, you have kids, you wanted to do something you could share with your kids. You're not just trying to money grab.
Like just had no money grabbing. I don't like to do that. Like, I just had a news report with me and my kid in the paper. Like, she's so happy. Look at that. Like, she's adorable. That has got to make you feel good. Oh man, that just makes me feel. And it was also in Woman's World magazine.
Oh wow!
Women's World magazine is one of the biggest in the, I don't know, kids. And there's the movie right there in the bottom of next to Netflix, and it's just cool that it's there. Yeah. I just can't wait to see what happens, because it's just released, so it's not Christmas yet.
Right. Yeah.
So it hasn't really started yet, but it's got a lot of attention so far. So
I imagine it'll do pretty good. I watched the trailer for it earlier today, and I was like, it felt very. I mean, it's obvious it's lower budget, but it had a studio kind of feel to it, like the rhythm of the trailer. Did you cut the trailer, or did Vision do that?
Vision cuts the best trailers and stuff. Like, I do trailers, but I'm actually not good at trailers.
Yeah. It's a different skill.
I get excited to see it too, to see what they bring, you know, and it's kind of cool. Like they did the Beyond the Line trailer too, which is really good. The World War II film.
Yeah, I directed a family movie years ago called Socks. It was a talking dog movie, and Vision did the foreign on it. And the trailers they cut for it were so much better than the ones I did. Like, I mean,
Vision. You worked with Vision before?
Yeah, I was not the producer on it. I was just directing, so I didn't have direct contact. I think I met with the head of Vision once or twice, like at AFM, and then we talked about Socks.
Was it Lisa?
Yes. Yeah, Lisa.
She's great. She's great.
Really nice.
I met them at AFM.
Romanoff, right? Or
yeah. I met her and with Beyond the Line, because I went there, and we were on the top floor. It was the last kind of drop off.
Right.
I was like, you know what? Let's just try one more. And actually, my clown movie was getting so much attention through that whole time that I went there. Mm-hmm. But then this one, they like chased me down. It was kind of a little cool. Hey, what's going on? And then it's history now. Yeah.
Had you been to AFM before, or was that?
Yeah, I went twice. I went for my very first movie. Mm-hmm. They came from the attic, but I felt like it was a great time. But I just felt like I'm not ready for this.
Right.
You know, it was my first movie. I wasn't really ready. But then the last time we went, which was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, with my World War II and Clown Motel, and I was going to sell the movie, and that's why it took so long to bring it out. But then I just pulled it out and said no. I'm giving it away, because they changed the name and everything. And I was like, no, this is what the name is.
Yeah.
So you got to stick to your, you know, that's your movie, do the thing. But it's also, if you want to get out there, you got to take a little, give a little, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally.
Especially when you're starting out. But now I'm getting a little bit of traction and getting some films out there. Like I'm doing not a talking pig movie, but like a kid's pig movie, because we own a pig.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they Vision were talking to me, because I said, what do you want me to make? You know, like, let's like, give me some ideas. They said, animals, if you like, got any weird animals? I'm like, I got a pig. Perfect. So Elvis the Pig, we're making a movie called Elvis the Pig, and it's just finishing writing. And then we're going to start that. I was going to start that in March, but I probably have to start the sequel to the Christmas movie first.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to get that out for next Christmas.
And then a horse movie with kind of just a drama with horses. My wife's a horse lady, and she's an actress.
I forget the producer's name. I met with him a few years ago. He was trying to get me to write a slate of horse movies, like Girl and Her Horse. And I at the time I was just like, oh, I'm hardcore.
Exactly.
My horror movie.
I'm hardcore, right? I did exactly the same thing. And it's like, but when you have kids, I was like, wait a minute, let's do it.
Yeah.
And now the kids, I get them involved, right? So my kids in the movies, my little baby son, he plays baby Santa in the movie, like, because it's about Santa shrinking. He goes back to a young age, right? And he actually gets to my son, and my son just gave this a magic smile in that scene. And I shot that in my living room in a green screen, just because I know I'm not going to get him in and the actors. It's not going to happen,
right?
You just have to like be smart about, you know, like even Hollywood's doing it, right? All this stuff they're doing, they're just quiet about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to make a movie, just do it. Just shoot it. I'm gonna get t-shirts. Just shoot it.
Just shoot it. Yeah, I love that. I mean, yeah, and I was looking at your IMDb. I mean, we've roughly been making movies about the same length. I think my first one came out in 2005, so it was just right before yours.
Yeah.
But that, man, that's a lot of output for that much time.
It's getting more now. It's getting more. I got 3 coming up next. I got 1 more in March, and I'm up to date with what I've done.
Right.
And now I can just go, because, you know, I usually shoot. I always have one ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making one ahead, then you know that you've got that just in case that film can come out. But now I've got the new company and stuff. It's like, I'm just going to see how they go. So far, they're great. We're talking all the time. The other company doesn't. They don't even let me know about anything. You know, one day I walked in Walmart and I saw this one on the shelf.
Had no clue.
I'm like, what? They could have let me know.
Yeah, I know. I've dealt with that many times.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's probably the coolest thing in the world, but
yeah,
because I always wanted to get one in Blockbuster. That was my goal.
Oh man, that's so cool. I did a movie called Edges of Darkness. It was a zombie movie. Came out in 2008, and not Lionsgate, Anchor Bay put it out.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I remember walking into a Blockbuster, and you remember like how, you know, like indies, they'd have like 1 or 2 copies usually.
Yeah.
But like this movie, they had like 13, like just like bam. It looked like a big release. I was so, I wish I still had, I wish I had a picture of that. It was so cool.
That's the thing. Like, I love the feeling of just seeing your film out, you know, online. Anyone can bring a DVD online. You know what I mean?
Totally.
You can do whatever, but it's like just having it in a store. That's like a goal. That's like, boom, checked off.
Yeah, I was working for a company pretty steady between 2010 and 14. I directed a lot of movies for them, and like if you were walking down like one of those Walmart like, you know, dollar bin things, it was like half the movies were mine. Like those guys did so many, but it was cool, you know.
Oh, totally. It is really cool. Like I'm excited because the DVD comes out for the Christmas movie, and I think it's coming out in Walmart and all that, so that'd be cool to see. Like, they'll let me know that.
And I'm sure it'll get a pretty robust release. Did you do any extras for the DVD or anything like that?
The music video. We did a music video for the song that we just released on YouTube, actually.
Okay, I'll have to go check that out.
I didn't really have any behind the scenes because
it was just you. Who's going to do it?
It was just me, and that's one thing that I want to improve is how I'm doing this. I can't do it all. Like when I was doing that Clown Motel and then making episodes, 42 episodes in a row, 42 days.
Yeah.
And making the movie. That was just impossible.
I need to go back and look at those more carefully. I didn't actually realize.
I'm not a YouTube guy. I'm not good at talking. Like I'm from England and stuff, but my vocabulary isn't that great.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not a great talker. So I tried to do whatever I could to just explain, but it shows me like making all the costumes. It shows me pretty much picking out the sets, writing the script, everything like that. Like
that's really cool.
How I did it. It's like just me doing it, and the movie's actually really good. Like it's awesome.
I'm gonna check it out
because the daddy clown is the best. I got a sequel planned. If I get to a certain amount of views and subscribers, then I'll make a sequel just for YouTube, just for my YouTube.
Wow, just do it cheap, do it yourself, put it out.
Exactly, and it's like you can see the difference when you have a passion project, pretty much passion, to when you're making something for somebody that you don't really care about, right? Like
no, I've definitely done those.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, you got to, like we're filmmakers, right? So you're gonna make anything, and that's why I've done from documentaries, horror. I'm doing some romance comedies coming up. Like I'm just gonna go through all of it because so far the kids movie was the funnest.
I mean, it just, I know that I've done 2 or 3, and and people always say, never work with animals, never work with kids. Best experiences I've had were I mean, the easiest actors I ever worked with were those kids.
Yeah, it was great.
By far.
Like I got some great plans for some superhero kid movies and stuff like that. Like, because I'm doing all the effects myself and everything. I just use After Effects and stuff like that, but like you can do some pretty amazing things with just overlays and stuff now, you know.
Oh
like,
yeah, it's like the stuff you can do right now, just even just in Premiere is beyond what.
Premiere's great. Like
Yeah.
you get a lot of bugs though, like,
Oh, of course.
but I think everything gets bugs. So
Yeah. Are you pretty much self-taught? Did you go to film school? What was your?
I just did that one course. One course I did. It was called Digital Cinema Push. It was kind of like just I actually work with the teacher. He's my line producer all the time now. So we work really well together.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So you just pretty much went out and just started doing it.
Just doing it. And then all the people that are saying, you can't do this, you can't do this, I just kind of had earmuffs on because they're still out there. They're still out there.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
still, I mean, you know, and I'm even ashamed to admit when I first saw the things on YouTube, you know, the titles, my first thought was like, well, you can't put movies up on YouTube like that. What's he doing? You know, and then I started checking it out and I'm like, oh, okay. You know, now I see, but my initial, like, I wanted to be like that asshole filmmaker. Like, oh, you can't do that.
Like people are saying, I get some comments saying, oh, how have you not got like copyrighted and taken down, right? Because if I put Beyond the Line on there, it would get taken down. I wouldn't do that to Vision, though.
Right.
It's not about that. But the thing is, it's because they're so corrupt or so bad of a company, they don't even copyright that crap. They don't care. So it just shows you know what I mean? And then there's other people putting the movie on there from like different countries and stuff with subtitles, always getting put on there. Yeah. So why can't I get the hits?
Right.
You know what I mean, I'm the one that made the bloody thing.
Yeah. After talking to you and then just looking through it, I'm like, okay, I can definitely see it. Yeah.
I'm going to keep, obviously they came from the attic. The 5 years is up. That's staying on there.
Yeah.
Changing a Ben Moore. That's staying on there. Alien Psychosis has got to be close. That was another movie that frustrated me because it was such a good movie. The original script. Did you see Alien Psychosis?
I have not. The only things I've really watched were Mermaid and the trailers for some others.
Yeah. So Alien Psychosis is an alien. It's like was never an alien movie. It was always a home invasion movie, kind of like Strangers.
Oh, cool. That's one of my favorite subgenres.
It's got a really cool, like the killers in there are great, but then they wanted me to add an alien to it. And I'm like, why? So it's got this stupid alien twist that is so annoying, but kind of cool, but just annoying that ruined the movie, I say.
Yeah.
You know? So I like, other than that, the movie's great until the alien crap comes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up the distributor after this because it sounds really similar to a story. So when I finished my third movie, I'd sold my first two right out the bat, no problems. The third one, which I thought was my best one up to that point, but I could not sell it. It was kind of I had done 2 horror movies and it was kind of a drama thriller. And so I went in and met with a sales agent and then he took me to a distributor and the distributor was like, it's pretty good, but we would take it if you would put a monster in it. You know, it was like a thriller movie. It was about a middle-aged kidnapper that fell in love with a teenager. It was like totally no monster. But I thought about it for a second. Like I was like, because I was desperate to get it out. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do it. And I started like kind of figuring out what the scenario would be. But then in doing that, I was like, this is going to be a whole nother movie. I'll just make a monster movie. And then I made a monster movie called Monsters in the Woods and then just never worked with that distributor again.
My advice to anybody that wants to make films is just do it. Mm-hmm. Like, don't let that guy tell you you can't do it because you think you need all this equipment. You don't need that much equipment. You just need, obviously, lights. Like I got these little... They work.
Yeah.
They work great.
They're awesome.
Yeah, and I do a lot of film. Actually, my Beyond the Line movie never used one light bulb. A lot of it was outside and stuff like that.
Natural light.
Yeah, and a lot of my movies, I never write the full script because I know that when I get to that location, there's going to be something changes. So I put the idea and then what I want them to say kind of thing. But like, I do that a lot with my movies. Like Bigfoot Country didn't even have a script, hardly had a script. Like Mermaid Isle hardly had a script.
Uh-huh.
Alien Psychosis had a script, but then they made me screw it up. And so, like certain things.
Take me through one of those. Like I don't care which one. Like you go to set. Like how do you put that together? What's
Bigfoot Country.
Okay.
So we made that. It was a film. Like pretty much the company wanted a film in 2 months, right? Mm-hmm. And okay. So I'm like, how do I do this? So I just kind of wrote an idea down on a piece of paper. Okay. Oh, they want a Bigfoot movie. So I'm making this Bigfoot movie. okay, I got these actors I worked with a lot of times, so I'll give them those chances. I get, I work great with them. It's fun. It's great. So we went into the woods. I had the camera and we just made it. Like literally, I had a Bigfoot. I think I put $100 into a Bigfoot suit. It's crappy, but even a crappy Bigfoot suit can look good if you shoot it the right way.
Totally true.
You know
Have you ever seen the behind the scenes on The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing? There's a great shot when they're first coming into the Russian settlement, and there's a guy that had frozen to death, and he had the frozen blood coming off him and all that, and it looks really cool. When you see the behind the scenes pictures,
totally.
It looks ridiculous. But you put Dean Cundy behind the camera, and it's like,
it's amazing. So that's what I like to do. Is like when I'm making, I make all my props, I do everything. I love it. I just love doing it. And then I put my mind just goes to work. I kind of black out in a way. I just don't think, and then suddenly the movie's done. That's what, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's kind of, I just zone out.
Now you're working with Vision, so Vision does a pretty good marketing push from what I've seen. But prior to that, are you pretty much doing the marketing and stuff on your own?
For the other movies, they don't do anything really. They do a little bit, like Bigfoot Country came out Walmart. They did a great thing. So it came out with what's that? Cinedyne.
Right.
You know the Cinedyne?
Mm-hmm.
Cinedyne, they have good printing studio, so that means they get out there. Those,
Right.
So they must have done something with that movie. But the other one, 3 Hours Till Dead, is actually good. That's probably one of my only movies that I can sit through myself.
Mm-hmm.
3 Hours Till Dead, my zombie movie, and that didn't get a push at all, and it got a shitty DVD sticker on the DVD, and I was like, what the hell? These actually got painted DVDs, which look awesome. Right. But that one just. And I feel that they missed out on that one, and I can't wait because I get the rights back next year. So,
right, and you can put it out again. So, do you do marketing yourself?
I only have, I don't have super amount of followers or anything like that, but I'm not really again. I wasn't trying to make millions of dollars. I wasn't trying to make a lot of money. It was more about gaining followers and getting out there, because I feel with YouTube, now I've got movies on there. I feel they're real subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
These are the subscribers that want to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At first, when you're starting, you're just trying to grab hold of anybody. Just get on there. But now these are legit subscribers, and then I got stuff to give away. I got web series on there and stuff like that, little things. But I want to be, because I got the Chucky doll coming, the real Chucky doll. And I'm going to make fan films with Chucky, because that's my favorite. Chucky is.
I love the Chucky stuff.
Yeah.
I like all of them.
It's exactly. I love Chucky and any horror kind of, but I want to make little skits and stuff with my Chucky doll and my kids and stuff. You know what I mean? Have some fun with it. Don't even know what it is.
Right.
But that's the stuff I find gets traction, and people want to see that kind of stuff. So I want to also have fun with filmmaking and still make movies as well.
Yeah, and I think that infectiousness will translate for sure. I could feel it just even in the trailer for the kids movie. Because I've seen a lot of kids movies. I was working with a company, and they were putting out a lot, and they were doing it. They were a cash grab, those guys, and you could feel it, but you can definitely tell that's not the case.
Well, Vision turned down Clown Motel, and I'm glad they did, because they don't just grab everything they get.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't really do horror films either, though, but that was just such a, I like that. Turn it down. Don't just grab it and want it. You don't even know anything about it. So you just gotta just do it.
Awesome. Well, Jason, it was really good talking to you, man.
Yeah.
If people want to find you on YouTube and all that, where do they go?
Yeah, Mills Picture Studios, and Mills Picture Studios on Instagram. Actually, on YouTube, it's got all the links, Facebook, and everything. There's a Patreon, but don't do the Patreon because all my movies are free right now on YouTube. So just wait until they go back.
All right.
Not really a big fan of the Patreon thing, but it's there. Yeah. I'm not very good at it, so I'm not that guy. I'm a filmmaker. That's it. Oh, another thing is when you make a film, a filmmaker makes films. So they make a movie and then they want to make another one. They forget about the next one. Boom, go. That's a real true filmmaker. Don't sit on one movie.
Right. No, I think that's an incredibly good piece of advice.
Once you finish the movie, move on to the next.
Yeah.
It's the way. Keep on making. It's like a drug. It's like a drug. You're addicted. I'm addicted to making movies, and it's a good drug. It's a great drug to have.
What a great guy. I really wish him the best of luck. And there's some links below to some of Jason's stuff. And if you're enjoying my stuff, don't forget to subscribe. Ding that little bell thingy. And share. Share these videos. Share them like the wind. But whatever you do, keep making movies.